So I know that my dad loves me a lot, and he calls every night, even when he's far away and very tired, just to say goodnight and ask how my day's been. And whenever I've been in trouble or had something go wrong, like when I had a concussion and had to go to the emergency room, he took the whole day off of work, didn't even check his BlackBerry once, and took me to the emergency room and sat with me while I had tests done. So I know that he is really caring and loves me a lot.
There was one year on April Fool's Day where Daddy and I decided to play a trick on Hannah. I was not very into this trick because I knew that it was not going to end well, and I was the one that was going to have to pay for it, not Daddy. So what we did was, while she was in the shower, we took away her towel and replaced it with a little paper towel that Daddy wrote April Fools. Hannah was not happy. I ran upstairs to hide while Daddy had to deal with the aftermath.
I don't have a very funny story to tell, although there are probably plenty. But being at my advanced age, you see the glasses, I have forgotten most of them. But I have a poignant point to make. It's one of caring and inclusiveness. I have known Scott for more years than I can count. I met him when we were young kids at my cousin Lawrence's apartment in the same building as Scott grew up in. I wound up going to the same high school as Scott, and he immediately took me under his wing. I knew nobody there but Scott, and he was instrumental in helping me become acclimated and comfortable in this new environment. Scott and I stayed friendly all through high school, college, and beyond. Once we were introduced to Jody, the attitude towards inclusiveness did not change one iota. Jody welcomed Tina and I in without skipping a beat. We all became fast friends, and when they settled in Hastings, we became neighbors of sorts and used to see them often. Our early professional lives were interesting. Scott was in Atlanta, I was in New York, but that didn't keep us from seeing each other. Not in the traditional sense. That would have been too easy. But Scott made it a point to make sure that we would see each other for breakfasts in Tokyo and on a short trip to the Grand Canyon. Since we each had interesting travel schedules, we were able to work in a social aspect, meeting in faraway and exotic places. Once again, this was an example of Scott's dedication to our friendship and the overall spirit of inclusiveness that has always guided our relationship. Once Scott and Jody relocated to Lexington, a decision we tried hard to get them to change, that spirit of inclusiveness never changed. We would trade visits occasionally, both as families and individually. Scott always made a point of keeping in touch with his friends. To this day, he is the one always initiating the phone contact, making me feel guilty that I haven't been the one to call. Once you're in Scott's life, he doesn't let you go. I have a philosophy on friendships which basically allows me to be friends with a whole host of characters. But I categorize my friends: those who simply enjoy being with, those who may be very funny, those who usually have something interesting to say, those who maintain alternative lifestyles, whatever. But I also have a system of ranking my friends based upon how true a friend someone really is. To make it to the top tier, you have to be someone who I truly adore, trust, and admire, and be someone who, in a true time of need, I could count on. Scott is one of the very select few who sit on top of that pyramid. I am truly glad that he is my friend.
Hey, but this will be on Liza's, on we call your side of the family, Uncle Scott. I think there was actually more than one where the bar mitzvah was so loud that the host and hostess appropriately provided earplugs to us at the meal, so that when the music became deafening loud, we put them in our ears. And I think there were some other folks, Papa Miles of one, who thought it was quite amusing to put it in his nose. But yeah, that was an hysterical time, and we all laughed and laughed and laughed. Although I think I did lose some hearing that night. I think that happened actually once, and I think in addition to the it was also a wedding, I think, Uncle Scott, again, on your side of the family, where your father and I were roaming about and the halogen lights became blaring in our face as they were doing the videotape of the horror or something, and that's another some of the wonderful memories. And I guess that's the cost of, as they say, of doing business with the Galins. But if that's the small price to pay to be a part of it all, it doesn't seem so bad.
Played touch football behind 180. There's a very pretty courtyard in back of the building. We called it Gracie football. If we lost, we had to kick in 25 cents. If Alan and Scott, it was always Jeffrey and me versus Scott and Alan. And I think at the end of the year we had like $12 we had amassed from all the football, and we went again to go spend it on food, because that's what we did. Not big drinkers, not big partiers, but big eaters.
He has a genetic defect when it comes to languages. I presume he went there because everybody else went there. But I also remember they had a very hard time teaching him to say bonjour. So as a linguist, this was not his forte.
So my dad really likes to go on adventures, and much to the chagrin of the rest of my family, sometimes those adventures turn out to be much longer than we had expected. And one example comes to mind. We were in Toronto this past winter, and it was the last day of December, and it was about 10 degrees with the wind chill, and we decided to go to a museum, just my dad and I. And we walked there, and for some reason I had been under the impression that there wasn't a subway stop nearby. So we walked for like an hour to get to this museum. I can't feel my legs or my face or my arm. And the museum turns out to be closed. So we end up walking back to the hotel. And it comes out later that there actually was a subway stop next to the museum. And I said to him, "Why didn't we take the subway?" And he goes, "Oh, I thought it would be nice to walk."
We alternated homes, we shared snacks, and you and I made sure we understood the material. We became brothers in everything except our genes. As we became adults, we lived in New York with our wonderful brides. We both moved to Westchester and shared being young parents together. As we took different paths and different journeys, our friendship never wavered. Rather than opening windows, we would call, email, or visit. But one thing was certain. Every milestone, we were sure to be there for one another. Now that you're turning 50, we may be entering another juncture in our life, but we can know that we're going to be consistent, being there for one another. I guess we have a lot of practice.
The story about Scott goes back to a weekend that I spent at the Galin household in Lexington, Massachusetts. And whenever Scott and I get together, we usually do some level of physical activity. And that would involve tennis and biking and maybe running in the old days, but not for me anymore. And I remember this one day when we went, I think we played tennis in the morning, and we were going to do a bike ride to Walden Pond, if I remember correctly. And I kind of thought it would be like a nice leisurely bike ride where you ride and you look at the nature and you just kind of take it easy, but it wasn't meant to be. We were averaging probably about 20 miles an hour, and Scott was way ahead of me, and I just could not keep up, and I wound up getting there, but I don't remember ever being so tired in my life. And that's the way I think of Scott. He's in great shape, and he's a great competitor, and I always like to hang with him.
So let's recap. I've known you for 47 years. We've been there for one another without question. We were genuine together. Every major problem or accomplishment will be shared. Every major decision will be discussed. I don't know who said this, but it applies. The most beautiful discovery that true friends can make is that they grow separately without growing apart. Scotty, my best friend, here's to you on your 50th. May you and your wonderful family have a great celebration. I love you.
I wish you the most incredible birthday ever. I just love you with all my heart, and I hope that you have a day of tremendous joy. I love you.
Oh, I'm so glad you're catching up. Wow, I can't believe you're 50. But you don't seem 50 to me. You always seem like my little brother to me. And I hope that you have a great birthday and that you celebrate yourself because you deserve it, and you do so much for everybody, and I hope you spend a little time taking care of yourself and enjoying yourself and not going anywhere. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Scott. May you have many, many more, and may all the ones that come be even happier than the ones that came before. Love you.
Happy birthday, Daddy. I hope to live to see you when you're 250 years old.
Scott, I wish you a very, very, very happy 50th. How can we be 50? How can we know each other for 40 years? How is that possible? But it's true. And to have someone in your life like you means the world to me, because we've shared a lot of moments together. We've shared a lot of fun times, a lot of not so fun times. But going forward, I know that this relationship between us will last forever. I love you very much. Have a very happy 50th birthday, and I'm very happy to be a part of this video montage that Rebecca is putting together behind your back.
Have a wonderful birthday and a wonderful life. Love you a lot.
Well, if he's lucky enough to live as long as I have, that would be the best gift I could ever give him, but it's not under my control. So I'm sure I hope to hang around to meet this birthday boy and to just have a good time, because nothing is better than having a good time.
Happy birthday, Scott. Love you.
Best wishes for a happy birthday, Scott, and we'll see you soon.
I wish you a very happy birthday, Dad, and may you find a bakery that lets you buy a whole pie and not just buy the slice. Love you.
Scott, you're hitting 50 a few months before I am, so I'm not quite sure you'll be able to tell me what it's all about, but let's happy birthday, and you've been a great friend for a long time, and all the best.
Scott, happy birthday. It's clearly like a fine wine. It's only getting better, and warm, happy, healthy birthday.
Happy birthday, Scott, and you have an amazing birthday.
Happy 50th birthday, Scott. I hope you have a great day, whether you're in this country or another. And once again, hopefully we can continue our very strong bond in the future. And when you do become chairman and CEO of IBM, you will give me a job, most importantly.
Happy birthday, Scott. We all love you. Hope your day is great, and hope to see you soon.
So Scott, just wanted to wish you a very happy and healthy 50th birthday, and I hope we can celebrate many more together. And Steve and Jason and Danny join me in wishing you all the best for your 50th year.
Happy and healthy birthday to a dear friend and someone who's like a brother to me and who I care about very much. We all love you.
Best wishes, Scotty. We love you. I love you. I treasure our friendship and our relationship, and I wish you well.
Scott, I wish you an extremely happy birthday. Welcome to the other side. I needed some company.